I'm definitely madly in love with the city. It's one of my favorite cities in the whole world, and this is very typical for Venice. What about the heart though? The light is just spectacular. Places where local people go. Venice is of course a very popular destination, and I think lots of people come here to visit just its famous landmarks, and this is a huge error. I mean, of course it's incredible to visit all those world famous places and landmarks. However, there are so many more places to see, and they are just as amazing, or sometimes even more beautiful, in my opinion, of course. I want to show you the areas of Venice that are not very known to tourists and travelers, the local areas where local people live, and to show you the places where local people go, and to show you different Venice that maybe you will find even more fascinating, especially if it's not your first time in Venice. I would highly recommend you to go a bit further from the popular tourist routes, to ditch your guidebooks and just explore, get lost in Venice, and you will discover a totally different city. The Church of San Zaccaria is a true jewel that very few tourists and travelers know about. It is found right behind the San Marco Basilica, and it's very central and it's very easily accessible. And there is a very particular special crypt inside it that you can access for a very small fee. This church was built in the 9th century, and then in the 12th century it suffered a terrible fire and was almost totally destroyed, except for the crypt that I'm going to show you in just 1 minute. Let's go with me. Guys, just look at this incredible crypt. As you know, there is water everywhere in Venice, and so lots of places get flooded, and this place is definitely one of a kind. There is a seemingly unnoticed street right near the church that we've just visited, and it is located in Sestiero del Castello, a less touristic area of Venice. There is a legend that says that while Venice was suffering a pandemic of plague, there was a young woman who lived in this area to whom Saint Mary appeared one day and told her to paint a painting depicting her, Saint Mary and few other saints. And after the woman did so, there were almost no cases in Sestiero del Castello, so it basically didn't suffer the plague. And local people said that the terrible illness all got inside here into this orangey reddish stone. So people of Venice believe that you can't step on this stone unless you don't want to bring yourself misfortune, while others say that will actually bring you love and money. I don't know who is right in this case, but I don't really want to try, you know. Well, just look how beautiful these streets are. These are the streets that you will not see unless you venture a bit off the tourist trail, because those areas, you know, around Rialto Bridge and San Marco, they are beautiful, but they are way more crowded. And just look here. This is so beautiful. This is real Venice. This is the Venice that I wish you all could see in real life, because it's mesmerizing. There is another legend about this street, which is called Sotto Portago dei Preti, that is linked to a love story between a fisherman and a mermaid. It is said that he fell in love with this beautiful mermaid, and she was cursed, so that every Saturday she was turned into a kind of a sea dragon, a sea snake. However, when he married her, finally the curse was broken, but the woman unfortunately died shortly after giving birth to their 3 children. The man was inconsolable, and to conserve the memory of their love and of this mermaid turned into a woman, he put a metallic heart in here underneath this portico. And it is said that people who are in love and touch together this monument will probably be happy and will live happily ever after together. Let's go and look for this heart. Guys, it's a very particular street, and I'm sure you love it, regardless of whether you are in love or not, whether you're single or not, because it's really very characteristic. But I can see the heart right now. Yeah. Maybe it's over there, because here I literally can see it. Let's go have a look. I would anyway tell you to visit all these streets, because they're really cute and very characteristic and very typically for Venice, very typical for Venice. But what about the heart though? Here it is, guys, look. I'm not sure it's made from metal. It looks more like a stone heart. I'm gonna touch it. And I think it's a very nice story, and very few people know about it. And I think this is what, you know, what gives the soul to the city. These unknown stories, these stories known mostly to locals, that you can experience as well as a traveler, because, you know, being a traveler is very different from being a tourist. And I would tell you, you know, be a traveler, ditch your guidebooks, look for stuff like that, for real stories, or even mystery stories, but stories that can impersonate the city, give it some character and you know, human face. And this is what I love most about visiting all of the places that I go to. Guys, look at how narrow this street is. This is very typical for Venice to have these very, very narrow streets. Sometimes you end up in a dead end while you're walking down. Sometimes you get somewhere, and hopefully this time we will get where we need to get. And I can see the bridge over there. So, but just look, if I put my arms like this, this is so narrow. It gives you such a medieval vibe. I already construct all of the possible stories from the medieval when I walk streets like this one. And I think it's so cool, you know, when you get a little bit lost, when you explore these areas. And how special is this? Most about areas like this in Venice, and we are now currently in the Sestiero del Castello, is that it's very calm. And if it wasn't for the typical architecture and landscape and gondolas passing by from time to time, you wouldn't even believe you're in Venice, because there are almost no tourists. It's very calm. There are mostly only locals going on with their days, you know, and people passing by in their boats, and it's such a peaceful place. And it's a perfect place to enjoy Venice, to understand it, because I've met people, just can you imagine it, I've really met people who said that they didn't like Venice, and I think I will never even understand how someone could not be madly in love with this city, because I'm definitely madly in love with this city. It's one of my favorite cities in the whole world, and I've traveled quite a lot in my life, and I can for sure tell you that if you know where to look, you will find the most amazing places in Venice. And you know, guys, it's definitely is one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Just abandon those areas where the tourists are and go exploring. Go here and look just how spectacular this area is. And I'm gonna show you more in just a moment. Because now I'm gonna show you a very particular place. I would say that this is a secret place of Venice, but you have to see it and hopefully visit it in the future. Also, don't mind the color of my face mask. It's getting really difficult now to breathe with this when you're outside with the heat wave that we are going through. So I just decided to get some color, you know, to raise the mood. Let's go.
Venice passport. She's on the job, but she's staying home. Will shop Boulevard, old dreams dying hard. He wants you to return his love. Breathing in the dark, weightless, working hard. He wants you to return his love. Now he's bleeding, diamonds on you, but that ain't enough to turn the page.
The bookshop we just went in is not very famous and is considered one of the secret landmarks of Venice. It's particular. There are lots of vintage books and I think they are cute. There is a place to take pictures. Maybe you've seen somewhere on Instagram the pictures of people on stairs of books. And I think the idea is really cute. However, it's probably teeny tiny bit overrated as for me, because the place is really small, and a few years ago it used to be quite deserted. I mean, it was a place for locals only and tourists didn't know a lot about it. Now I think it's not as secret as it used to be anymore, and there are a bit more people and it gets a little bit crowded. So I don't know, if you want a particular picture from Venice, a particular souvenir from Venice, maybe a vintage book or a vintage poster or something like that, this place is definitely for you. However, I wouldn't say that this is a must visit in Venice. There are more places that I like and I hope to show them to you. And guys, now I would like to go closer to the seaside because it's very hot today. I would say that probably best time to visit Venice is from April to May and from September to October. Now it's mid-June and normally it's not as hot in Italy in mid-June, but there is a huge heat wave right now that we're living through and it's getting a bit complicated to go on with your day when it's so hot. And actually it's 6:30, almost 6:30, and it's still quite hot. And one tip that I can give you is that it's really great to visit Venice in the afternoon because there are less people. There are lots of people in the morning and then they go away usually. So visiting Venice in the afternoon is definitely a good idea. However, you should check out all of the opening hours for all the places that you want to visit, because we wanted to visit the bookshop and the church before they close and we had to run, and now I feel so exhausted, honestly. However, yeah, it's a good idea in general to visit Venice in the afternoon, also because the light is just spectacular and you'll probably get a chance to see the sunset. And the sunsets of Venice are the most beautiful sunsets in the world. So now we are going closer to the sea to hopefully catch one of them. Let's go. This is the San Michele Island, where the cemetery, the local cemetery of Venice, is located. And lots of famous people are buried there. So if you've been to Père Lachaise in Paris, for example, and if you fancy visiting the tombs of famous writers, poets and musicians, you can get there by Vaporetto and get off there on your way to Burano or Murano and have a walk there. Also, just have a look how beautiful this skyline and the Lagoon of Venice is. I can also see the vaporetto stations, and there have been the news about overcrowded vaporettos, so I would like to check it now for myself and to see how crowded they are here in a less touristic area. Because when I just arrived to Venice today, the vaporetto stations were overcrowded indeed. There were lots and lots of people, so let's have a look here where usually there are less tourists. Let me see. I wouldn't say they are overcrowded. There are people, and there are, well, I think there is a normal amount of people for this area, to be honest. As you can see, they are definitely not overcrowded. There are people, but nothing dramatic. So if you want to come to Venice and go to the islands and visit other parts, I would recommend you to go further away from San Marco area and from the train station, so that you don't need to take overcrowded vaporettos. And that's it for today, guys. I hope you liked today's video. I hope you like an unusual Venice, and I have more prepared for you, more surprises from Venice. Let me know in the comments what else would you like to see, whether you'd like to see a tour of local artisanal shops of Venice or the islands of Venice, and you know, anything else you would like to know or to see in Italy or about Italy. And if you like this video, don't forget to put a thumbs up, comment and share it with your friends. And if you're new here, welcome to Dramatically Expatic. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button to get the notifications of the new videos. There are more videos about Venice and Italy to come very, very soon. Thank you for being here and enjoy your day.